Picture this. Your nearest real grocery is now 20 miles away. The only store left sells canned salt and sugar. Welcome to life under dollar chains. For millions of people in rural America, that is not a dramatic line. That is their normal day. You used to drive 5 or 10 minutes to a family-owned grocery or a regional chain. They knew your kids. They stocked local milk, fresh meat, and real produce. Then one year a bright discount sign opened across town. It looked harmless. Cheap, simple, convenient. A few years later, the real grocery closed. Now when you need food, you stare at aisles of boxed meals and off-brand snacks and think, how did convenience turn into collapse? If your nearest supermarket closed next year and a dollar store was the only thing left, what would change first for you? Your health, your budget, or your stress? Type the word that hits you hardest. Here is the scale most people never see. In 2025, Dollar General will have more than 20,000 stores. Dollar Tree has almost 9,000. Family Dollar has more than 7,000. Together, these three chains make up close to 90% of the largest general merchandise stores in the United States. A huge share of those locations sit in small towns, rural crossroads, and low-income neighborhoods. So when one of these chains moves into a place with only 1 or 2 real groceries, the pressure is massive. The U.S. Department of Agriculture studied what happens when a dollar store opens in a local area. They looked at nearly 20 years of data. When a dollar store opened in a census tract, independent grocery stores were about 2.3% more likely to close. Jobs at those grocers dropped about 3.7%. Sales fell by around 5.7%. The effect was worse in rural communities than in cities. Put that in simple language. When a dollar store shows up in a small town, the odds that the local grocery survives drop. Staff get cut. Money leaves. Have you seen a local grocer, small supermarket, or corner store shut down after a dollar store opened nearby? If yes, write the store name and your state in the comments. Now look at what replaces it. A full grocery store stocks fruit, vegetables, meat, dairy, canned goods, and basics in one place. A dollar store can legally claim it sells groceries by adding some coolers and a tiny produce rack, but researchers keep finding the same pattern. The shelves are mostly shelf-stable, highly processed food, high in salt, sugar, and fat, low in fresh options. One study on food deserts found something dark. Dollar stores are not always more likely to enter low-access areas at first. But once a dollar store enters a food desert, that area becomes more likely to stay without a supermarket at all. The chain can help lock the desert in place. If your nearest full grocery was 20 miles away, how often would you honestly make that trip? Every week, once or twice a month. Only when you had no choice. Put your honest guess in the comments. Now imagine you are a parent in that town. You finish a long shift. You are tired. Gas is expensive. The kids are hungry now. Are you really going to drive 40 miles round trip to the nearest supermarket after work, or are you going to grab boxed dinners and snacks at the dollar chain 5 minutes away? Do that week after week, year after year, and the health of that family changes. Doctors in rural clinics see changes in blood pressure, weight, and blood sugar, even if it never shows up in any ad or company report. Dollar chains also change where the money goes. That old grocery might have employed dozens of people on full or part-time schedules. Stockers, cashiers, butchers, managers. It might have been bought from local farms or small producers. When a dollar chain moves in and the grocery closes, you lose those jobs and those local links. Dollar stores do hire, but they keep staff thin. They rely on a few workers to do everything, from stocking to checkout to security. Regulators have found serious problems. In 2024, Dollar General agreed to pay $12 million in fines and to make nationwide safety changes after years of cases about blocked exits, unsafe stacks of boxes, and fire hazards in its stores. So in many rural towns, the trade looks like this. You swap a larger local employer with deeper roots for a thinly staffed chain store controlled from far away. Less payroll in town. Less money spent at other local shops. More profit leaving on a balance sheet you will never see. Are most of the stores within 10 miles of you local or chains? Type local, chains, or mix. The answers from this community will say a lot about where people still have real choice. Then, there is safety. Long hours, low staff, remote locations, and a lot of cash make many dollar stores soft targets for crime. Workers in local news have reported robberies, assaults, and threats in these shops. When there are only 1 or 2 people on duty, they are the only line between the store and whatever trouble walks through the door. Think about how that feels if you are a kid in that town. The only nearby place to grab a snack is a store where your parents warn you, do not hang around there after dark. That is not the heart of a healthy community. That is a risk everyone has to walk past to get basic stuff. Now zoom out from one town to the whole map. Across the country, the big $3 chains now count tens of thousands of locations between them. Their strategy is clear. Fill in the gaps where full-line groceries and big box stores do not want to go, then open more spots nearby. In some regions, it is common to see several dollar stores within a short drive, even as the nearest supermarket is many miles away. From a spreadsheet view, it is a smart expansion. From the view of a rural family, it feels like being surrounded without ever being asked. Do you feel like your area has more real choices today than 10 years ago, or fewer? Put more choice or less choice below. The story is not all one way, though. Many communities are starting to push back. Since 2018, roughly 60 towns and cities have changed their zoning laws to slow or block new dollar store openings. Some require a minimum distance between stores. Some insist that new locations carry a real selection of fresh food. Others have rejected dollar store projects outright to protect the few local grocers they still have. One report says more than 120 communities have already said no to at least one proposed dollar store. Most of those fights did not start with big national groups. They started with a handful of residents who were tired of watching their town turn into a row of cheap signs and empty parking lots. If your town council held a vote next month on whether to allow another dollar store, how would you vote? Yes, no, or only with rules? Be honest, there is no right answer here. Only reality. So what does all of this mean if you are a normal person in your 30s, 40s, or 50s watching this with a mortgage, kids, and a tight budget? First, you are not crazy for feeling trapped when the only nearby store is a dollar chain. The research backs your gut feeling. These chains can push out grocers, lock in food deserts, and pull money away from local jobs. Second, small decisions still matter. When you have the option, try to split your spending so some of it goes to real grocers, farmers markets, or local co-ops instead of every dollar going to the chain with the brightest sign. Even one regular trip a month can help keep those doors open. Third, pay attention to local meetings. You do not need to be an expert. You only need to show up once in a while and say something simple like, "We want at least one full grocery in reach." We do not want to end up with nothing but dollar chains. In the comments, share your state and how far you are from your nearest real supermarket. Seeing that list will tell this whole audience more than any chart. Because in the end, this is about more than cheap snacks and discount cleaning supplies. It is about whether rural America and low-income neighborhoods get real stores, real jobs, and real food, or whether they are quietly told to accept less. If this video helped you see what is really happening behind those bright dollar signs, tap like. Share it with someone who thinks dollar stores are just harmless bargains and has never looked at what vanished when they arrived. And if you are tired of being told everything is fine while your town loses its last grocery, its last pharmacy, and its last real choices, hit subscribe. This channel is for people who refuse to be treated as leftovers on the map and who want clear, honest talk about how these shifts hit normal families long before they hit the headlines.